Those stocks are set for a strong open a day after the Fed left rates unchanged but hinted at future cuts. S&P now within 1% of a record intraday high. A 28-point jump would set a new milestone. Jim, it's an important day.
Yeah, well, we got the key word that we want, which is monitoring. Monitoring means, look, we're probably going to have to take action. We wanted it delayed. We didn't want it this one. We didn't want to spoil the party. We didn't want the 50 basis points. We wanted to, listen, we're watching. We see the deceleration, which is true. That was great. It was kind of delayed reaction. Some people feared that the president would attack last night, and he's busy doing some other things and tweeting. The one thing I would say I don't like is that when I come in, almost all the good NASDAQ stocks are up $2 to $3. And I know the futures are strong, but when you see Microsoft up 2, 3, before anything happens. Now, Oracle did have a really good quarter, and that's up too. But there's just this cohort of like Revolve, Beyond Meat, all of these companies that just came public, and then there's another cohort of the Zscaler, Zendesk, Okta.
You just tweeted.
Salesforce.
How many days can they go up in a row?
It's unnerving to me because these are parabolic moves now. And a parabolic move does not end well. I don't want to be a bear. I mean, obviously, there's just guys are loaded for bear to buy. But I don't like this. I don't like markets where every day I come in and before anything happens, stocks are up big. Because they tend to be at a certain point, it kind of catches up. And I would like to see a settling down period.
You sound a bit like Lee Cooperman this morning. Says a few more days like yesterday. My guess is you're into net euphoria.
Yeah, remember, that's where he says you got to go. And I've always respected Lee from the early 80s. And he's been saying, look, no euphoria, no euphoria. And then he used the word. And I think that when you see, if Amazon goes to 2,000 based on nothing and there's no news, and if Facebook seems to recover from whatever the heck people hated it for the other day.
I've had a few people say similar things to me.
Really?
Feels end of cycle.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really?
Because of the performance of some of these IPOs.
Well, they're nuts.
And then even things on like refinancing for your mortgage rates, where the banks have been extremely competitive lately.
I know.
Who knows? But
not a lot making a lot
but
of money.
there has that theme has sort of crept in a little.
Yeah, well, you get the NXP. Remember that was supposed to be takeover, so that's up 2, 3.
Right.
Yeah, Micron is up at the very end. And one of my favorites, NVIDIA, up 3, 4. Nothing happened. Nothing. And plus on trade, I know that there's a line that we're saying that Mnuchin's talking. We got to stop that. We got to stop the idea that therefore the trade talks are going well. There's been no correlation between Mnuchin talking and what we do. I'm not saying that he's a not an important guy. Powell alluded to the Treasury Secretary as being important, but I don't see anything that happened at Salesforce to move that stock almost back up to where it was before it made its bid for Tableau software. This is a market that is just very euphoric, and it's beyond me to figure it out.
We've been having this conversation off and on for 2 years.
Well,
how do you know? I mean, how do you know if you get out? How do you know you're not too early?
It's so hard. You look like such a chump if you get out early. I think one of the seminal things that's going to happen today is that Uber's back over 45. So now we're starting to get even the ones, the redemption. Their stocks, their tech stocks, where we knew that they were knocked out by the Huawei initiative by the president. And now they're getting back to where they were before Huawei, even though they lost the orders. And I just find, it's just a little
You mentioned a name like Salesforce that you know extraordinarily well,
right,
which was up after the Fed decision, up again this morning.
What is that
And this
about?
is the kind of commentary I'm reading here. I like buying CRM for a potential move up as some investors refuse to pay nosebleed 20 to 30 times price over sales valuations, but still desire 20% growth with real free cash flow and a 5 to 7% price to sales. CRM delivered a much better than feared Q1 2 weeks ago, gave a bullish outlook, so on and so forth. It caught a strong bid. The trend is your friend.
There's some genuine analysis. It's going up because it's going up. It's called circular reasoning. And this is where you're starting to pay up for the same piece of information, so-called multiple expansion. It has systematically never been a great way to make money.
One of the things that was said about Powell's play yesterday, people who saw the brilliance in it, was that he now put the onus on the president to maintain this momentum at the G20.
I thought that was brilliant.
So now that's what we have.
Yeah, and I think the president is ready to really shut Xi down this time. He was so fooled he was pantsed by Xi in Buenos Aires. He was pantsed. He doesn't like that.
So you're looking for fisticuffs.
Well, no, I just think that maybe they can find a golf game in Japan, but it's just that he was had.
So
he got had.
So he's going to risk the entire U.S. economy to get revenge on someone who embarrassed him? What are you trying to say?
Yeah. Well, it's his company.
Why not?
It's his company,
It is.
right?
It's his.
The country's his company. He doesn't think that Elizabeth Warren's going to get the CEO job,
Do whatever he wants with.
Right. I mean, she's not in the succession plan. She's not there.
And the board of directors, the GOP, they're
the
all
board of
behind
directors
him.
likes him.
This is all you got to do.
What are you going to have a proxy?
Yeah, hold it
you
up.
going to have a proxy against him? He's going for a third term.
This is what we're doing now.
Yeah.
See?
It's a different.
Thank you.
It's a different time, as Lee said. I mean, President really. I mean, I was going over when Truman was trying to fire the Federal Reserve Chairman, and actually the Federal Reserve Chairman resigned. Actually, I thought you do have these strange moments in the press conference that never would have happened before. I intend to fill my term. Holy cow! Geez, were you thinking about Dodd? I mean, wild. And then there's always some guys. Look, what do you think about the fact that President Trump makes fun of you every day and makes you look like a joker and a moron? He goes, I tend not to comment on that. I mean, what kind of statesman is he? You know how hard that is. So, what kind of class is Dale Carnegie?
But just to clarify, you don't expect any agreement out of Osaka.
No.
And today you got the Journal now matching Nikkei saying Apple's looking at suppliers, asking them to study moving final assembly out of China.
When Tim Cook last met with the president, I think the president is willing to give Tim Cook an exemption from the next 10% if he can prove that he's doing everything he can to get those jobs out of China. And
even if they don't come back to the United States.
No, he's willing to have them just out of China.
Okay.
He's not asking that they be built here because he knows that that's not
feasible.
By the way, the president's very pro-Taiwan and Korea lately. Really pro-Taiwan and Korea. Just really says these are the countries. Move to Taiwan. You can move to Taiwan. You can move to Mexico. You can move to Korea. You can move to Vietnam. These are all safe havens for the president.
Okay.
What?
No, great.
You know I'm right.
Not bringing
for
jobs back
sake.
here, but okay.
Well, look, first is to punish because he got had. Remember, he hates to get had. And he often goes on another network where it's very, very critical. They're very critical of him. And not. And he says these things, and you just have to take him. Look, his company got beat by that company. That company is playing. It's a very, they got they got a secret police and stuff. He can't have a secret police because it's still a democracy. But was wavering? People couldn't see your hand on that.
Good.
But I just think that he's treating it like a company, and he wants to fire this underling, this CFO he has. Powell. Look, he's got to remember, the guy who runs justice is supposed to report to the American people. But, whatever.
It is part of the executive branch.
Look, there was a TV show at a time, and it was #1, and it often got a 10 in the ratings. He's got another TV show. He's killing it. And he is not going to give that slot up to Warren or to Sleepy Joe.
Will you stop with this?
Why? He says it.
I know.
Cookie Hillary? Crying Chuck? What's he? He notice he doesn't give Pelosi a nickname. Is that because the husband's involved in real estate? What is that? Why doesn't Pelosi get a nickname?